Hello Internet, welcome back to the Fast Travel Lounge. You're listening to episode 125. My name is Patrick, I'm joined by Seth, say hi.
Yeah, hello.
And Steve, say hi.
Hello.
And John Cena, say imagine
Dun,
that.
dun, dun.
God damn it, I shared a single brain cell with Steven.
No, but for real, though, we do have the Rizzler on this week.
You can stop making the face, Rizzler. You gotta say something, man.
No, he's got to do it at all times.
You know what? You're right. I will also do the Riz face. Good idea, Rizzler. So tell us about your how was WrestleMania? How was it, Rizzler? You have to speak into the microphone, big fella.
Is he muted? I think he's. You know what? We'll fix it. We'll fix it later. Seth can just add the audio back in.
Yeah, add it in post. He'll manually do it.
This is a bad bit now.
And just.
This bit's gone on too long. New bit.
See, the bit is that it's actually Seth doing his best the Rizzler impression and re-recording all the lines.
Here's the Panther dressing. God, I love the Rizzler so much. I love that. I genuinely, I know I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I love that family. Actually, I don't think he's part of the family, but because there's like the Costco guys, and then there's like the Rizzler, and I think he's just been like absorbed. But it's fucking sick that they made it to the WrestleMania or whatever it was.
AEW full gear.
No clue what that means. WrestleMania.
Best of luck with the treatment.
He does bring the boom.
He really does. He really does.
How long do you reckon? Honestly, serious question. Serious faces on. No laughing. How long do you reckon until we get like the Rizzler emote in Fortnite? Like it's got to be like weeks, if not days. Like I'm not even talking months. Like it's
I was genuinely concerned you were going to say it runs for political office. I'll take Fortnite emote. I reckon that's weeks to months probably.
Do you reckon it's like the Fortnite emote, or does he get his own skin?
They're going to be a little slow on the uptick, and it'll be some point next year, like probably the middle of the year.
You could have fucking Peter Griffin doing the Rizzler face. We got it. Sure, there's got to be.
Right now, they have the Nike events going on, and you can have Batman in Nikes. Or Daredevil, or Peter Griffin.
And Godzilla's like being released soon, so like there's all the leaked images of Godzilla hitting the gritty, and every time I fucking see it, it hits me in a place that like primal.
That you can only talk about with your therapist.
It's just something about Godzilla hitting the gritty is something that not only should not exist, but it shouldn't even be a concept defined by mortal creatures. Like you can't see Godzilla hit the gritty and believe there's like a benevolent god. It just doesn't make sense. He's fucking abandoned us. But anyway, dark days,
cool.
Dark days
Well,
for fucking.
now that we've taken up the prerequisite amount of time to get through the intro, why don't we talk about what we're doing this week? So, slight difference in format. We're approaching the end of the year. This means that we're doing what we always do. And taking the end of December off to go spend some time with family, go do some other things, go and let's be real, we're gonna go touch grass, maybe if we're feeling adventurous.
I'm gonna go record a Christmas album.
You can't steal Schlatt's bits.
You
I
wish
watch me.
you
Where
could
do
go
you think I got
steal.
it from?
Yeah, just the audacity to even say that you're going to do that. Absolute spit in the face of the man that sold out of all of his vinyl records.
Very 1999 of him.
Oh, it is.
I should have fucking gotten one.
Do you have a record player?
Maybe next time. I don't see why it's relevant.
Interesting.
I'm sorry, Seth. Do you have 5 consoles for all your collector's edition Final Fantasies?
Yes.
He doesn't even have the wall space for him. He's got them all boxed up in his fucking. I've seen him.
They're in storage. What of it?
Are they stored in some sort of glass jar, perhaps?
No, those are for the figures.
Yeah, of course
okay,
they
move
are.
on.
Of course they are.
The figures.
Yeah, canonically, he did say
Godzilla
fingers to
hitting the
that question. Anyway, so
Godzilla hitting the gritty. The jar.
So we're gonna do our what's the South Park line? The Washington Redskins "Go fuck yourself" Christmas special. I miss old South Park.
It's been forever since I've heard that, but that does sound accurate.
It's so good. That season's one of my favorite seasons. Anyway, we're gonna do a bit of our yearly wrap up. So it won't be so much what we've done this week. It'll be a reflection of what we've done this year and what a year it's been. And the double barrel of that is that this will probably be our last one for a while. We're going to take the break off over Christmas and then probably extend that break and just see what things are at. Maybe we'll come back. Maybe we'll be riding off to the big podcast farm in the sky. But stick around because, it's going to be a great way to see out what's been I was going to say very successful, let's be real, a
mildly successful.
Of interest. Yeah, 125 episodes.
It's been amazing. What are you talking about? There is nothing I like more than every Tuesday or every Wednesday, whenever we recorded these things, because someone's schedules
Steve, it's
are
Monday
always
today.
wrong.
Steve, wake up. You've been in a coma.
Fuck, I'm late for work again. No, there's nothing more I'd love to do than to talk to the boys, especially about things that I really like, video games.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was Krispy Kreme.
Boys. Yeah. Or Krispy Kreme. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Hawk Score. You know what? Let's just spend the episode talking about the catchphrases. Let's just spend the episode talking about the catchphrases I've said.
Everyone's top 5 dishonorable mention Steven catchphrases of 2024.
So, actually, unironically, I've got a very funny meme to share with everybody. If everybody types in piss nuke incoming, it is probably the funniest video I've seen in since Persona 4X Smoke Alarm. It's just this guy going, piss nuke incoming, everybody get down. And he just throws this bottle of, it looks like piss in this bottle, and he throws it, and it's, it just does something to me. So fun.
Well,
everybody, you know what? If you're driving,
Steven, genuinely, are you
look
okay?
it up right now. I genuinely I have been trouble sleeping because I've been giggling at this, and then I'm like, fuck, just one more watch. It's insane.
That's so much fun.
I nearly showed it to the people at work today, and I'm like, hang on a second, better not. There's a Reddit dirt on it.
Of course there is. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to move this swiftly along. We got a bit to get through. So I think we've probably taken a swing at doing this in 17 different ways over the past yearly roundup episodes. Steve is still laughing into the mic. Cool.
Sorry. I'll mute my mic. I'm sorry.
Oh my God. I think the way that we're going to do it this year is that we're not going to do a stratification of the different categories of video games versus TV shows versus movies. We're just going to do a top 5. Top 5 2024, nice and simple. We're going to start at number 5, go around, maybe even toss an honorable mention in before number 1, get to the number 1s, and then call it a day. So, who wants to put forward their number 5 first?
I can't fucking do it. This video is so funny.
Well, I don't think it's going to be Steven.
No, I don't. I'm now genuinely afraid that his entire top 5 pick is going to be him watching this video. And you know what? That's okay.
Top 5.
We've judged him for the past 124 episodes. What's stopping us judging him for 125? I'll go first then.
Whew, okay, all right. I'm closing this tab. It's just been like a loop. Whew, okay.
Cool.
Whew.
So my number 5th pick. It's a show that I actually dunked on. So this is a series. My top 5 pick is a series. I actually dunked on it for the first couple episodes because I thought it was a bit corny, a bit weird, a bit stupid. And then I got into it, and then I really started enjoying it. And that's Three Body Problem, the series on Netflix.
I heard very good things about that.
Yeah, so I did as well. I really wasn't sure what the hype was. There were moments of it being quite hyped early on, but it had such a so much of the early episodes had these links that they didn't really describe to these sort of magical video games. And they only explained why the magical video games are actually worthy of being hyped about halfway through the season. And then once I sort of got over, I don't really get what's going on, and just enjoying what I was watching and then getting into it, really, really good series. And actually, I'm not sure that I mentioned this to you guys, but it was so good that when I was on holiday with some mates a month or two ago, and we were middle of nowhere, and there was just a town bookshop, and literally, this is the size of the town. The bookshop was one of the tourist attractions.
Oh, damn.
Just being a bookshop. But, one, it was a fantastic bookshop, actually. But two, the main guy running it, he ran around and he gave everyone little, Merry Christmas. Admittedly, this was a couple months early, but, getting in the spirit of the holiday season, little voucher. And that voucher was, we'll give you $10 off if you spend $40, I think it was, $40 or $50 in the store. And I was thinking like, I'm not sure. But then I saw that they had the full, because Three Body Problem is based on a book, they had the full 3-book series of Three Body Problem for $50. And so I bought them. And so hopefully I will take some of my touch grass time over the summer to actually start reading a fictional book, which I haven't done in a very long time, or at least I hope it's a fictional book, which I haven't done in a very long time. So I'm excited. And that's why it's my number 5 pick.
Ah, cool. Will you be, actually, no, never mind. Actually, no, too late. I've already thought of it. Will you be reading it by a beach of some description? Few things hit better than reading at the beach. Ooh.
I don't think I've ever actually experienced that sort of thrill, as you'd put it.
I have. The last time that I experienced that thrill was, I think, actually when I was on holiday in Sydney, which would have been 10 years ago now. Yeah, that actually would be 10 years ago. That's crazy. Yeah, maybe. We'll see. Steve, what is your number 5 pick?
My number 5 pick? Look, I ifed and ummed about this because, like, I don't think it's been not that it's been a bad year for Steven Media, but there's just been I played a lot more things that it's like, oh, okay, this is like a mid, or this was like average, or like slightly above average. So it was kind of like, oh shit, maybe I should be joining with better media. So I did a bit of a call out to a couple of friends. I'm like, look, I need a TV show. Like, I'm sick and tired of watching shitty YouTube, TikTok reaction videos, or like weird deep dives of challenge runs of games that I've never even heard of, let alone care about. And a couple of people mentioned the League of Legends spin-off Arcane, and I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'll give it a watch. And I'm a very big believer of like one episode a day. Like, I don't encourage binge culture, except it's big binge drinking because that's one of the lads. But like, I just people that are like, oh, I'm gonna watch a whole TV show. Oh, look, I watched it in one day. Oh, like I just feel like the impact doesn't really set in. But unfortunately, I am the walking hypocrite. I couldn't. I just could not fucking stop watching this. It was so fucking good.
Steven's gonna hate me because one of my things is about binging.
Yeah, okay.
I'll better be binge drinking like other people of our age.
Yeah, lads. Actually, no, we're like approaching 30. We shouldn't be drinking. We got work tomorrow.
That's why we should be drinking.
True. Why we drink at work.
Oh, hang on. Let him have a good idea. But yeah, no, so I'd only watched like 2 or 3 episodes, but when it's like a 9-episode season, that kind of very accelerates the time frame. But I fucking loved this. Like, I have zero knowledge of League of Legends apart from like the weird toxic community thing. So I have no idea about the lore behind it. And I'm very, very glad I watched this. Like, just the story between like Vi and Caitlyn and Jinx. And it's like probably one of the best animated shows I've ever seen. Like, I'm not even sure if it's true to the League of Legends lore. Like, I don't fucking care either. Like, just, it is, the voice acting is fantastic. The action is fantastic. The subplots that you don't really think are going to go anywhere that end up either tying themselves up really nice, or they kind of get added to the main story just because like that's the way that things go. And I thought I do have a little bit of a voice in my ear, but like, oh, maybe we should check out League of Legends. And I will be honest, after I finished watching the last episode on last Friday, may or may not have shed a couple of tears because like the ending's a bit bittersweet, but that is what it is. But I will also admit, on a worser note, I did go on to like the League of Legends website and kind of just like, oh, like what are the actual heroes like? And there's a lot more out there. But like the fact that it kind of made you consider that, like, while the Fallout show also came out this year and is kind of a bit of a in that same vein, whereas the Fallout show was a bit more of a exploration of the world, whereas this Arcane seems to be more of an explanation of this world and how things came to be. And it just really it stood out, and it's fantastic, and I cannot recommend it highly enough.
Yeah.
9 stars.
What the fuck would you dock a star from Arcane for?
Being associated to Riot.
Have we? We've all seen it, haven't we? You haven't seen it, so have you?
Ooh.
Do you care if I spoil one thing?
I'll take my headphones off while you spoil it.
Yeah, I guess we'll put in a massive spoiler warning for this though, because this is like actually
the
fairly
last 3
topical.
episodes. Yeah. Okay. Well, have you've seen it all? Have you? Pat?
I have. I've seen it all.
Okay.
It's coming up in my top 5. I've seen it all twice.
Oh fucking hell! Yeah, huge. I don't think I really understood that episode where what's to do with the hoverboard's name?
Echo.
Echo. I don't think I understood really that Echo episode where he goes into that alternate timeline. I don't think I understood that. Like, he got that weird thing that makes him reverse time, but it's kind of a why type of thing. Like, alternate timeline didn't really exist until him and only him kind of experienced it, unless you kind of consider what Jace did. But I thought he went into the future as I don't know. I kind of didn't really get it, but like, he got this tool that kind of essentially was relevant to only him and to help Jinx. It just felt very fucking weird, and you could probably even lose that episode, and nothing's really lost.
Interesting. Because
maybe on a second watch through it's different though.
It hit me hard enough the first time I watched it. I don't think it's a second watch through thing. It's one of the few times where, because if this were The Last of Us, I'd agree with you. And I really hope Seth has still got his headphones out. In the episode 2 with Bill, not 2, 3, but episode 3, I think, with Bill, that was kind of just like a characterization of the world, and it didn't feel like it evolved the main story forwards. But I think you could not have done, I think you not understanding that episode, probably, it's interesting the ending hit you so hard, because the ending for most people, myself included, hits so much harder because Echo got to experience that. So Echo in the alternate timeline is literally everything in his life is perfect, but he knows that he can't abandon his like actual timeline friends.
Am I safe?
No. give us
we'll
another
message
minute. Parents are talking.
Okay. Back to the corner I go.
Yeah. We'll message when it's safe to come back in. So the reason why so much of it was like built up is that Echo ultimately is the person that saves everyone in season 2. Like, without Echo, basically Victor wins and everything's lost. Yeah. But the way that Echo got back to his reality was sort of a one-way trip where he willingly gave up what was otherwise a promising future with Powder, and Piltover and Zorn were getting along peacefully, and like everything in his life was basically perfect. And he had to willingly give it all up in order to save his current timeline friends. And the bits that you see of him kind of just looking sad at the end of the season is that he did give all of that up. And it's not like it's a for what thing, because the same alternate timeline, Heimerdinger, also is from the kind of actual timeline that we're following, and purposefully makes the choice like, hey, I'm already pretty old, I'm going to die soon, I'm just going to live out my life in relative peace and happiness and play my banjo here. But we get to see what the kind of perfect reality is, and we get to see Echo experience that perfect reality, and then to have it all ripped away just makes the ending hit harder, that, you know, you've won the battle, but at what cost? Because you've had one foot in heaven, that without putting that episode together, and you'd probably also have to remove Jace playing Silent Hill, but if you removed both those episodes, it doesn't give you the same sort of context as to why there's such an impetus to fight as hard as all of them are fighting, I think. But I really enjoyed it.
I guess so. Yeah, I did really enjoy it, and I did enjoy like kind of Echo having to make that choice of like, oh, I have to go back to my real timeline and save everyone there. It just kind of felt like a bit of a weird cop out for a weird side character.
Yeah. It's understandable. I
think my problem is not with the concept; it's with the delivery.
Yeah,
I think, but actually at the same time, hearing you talk through it, maybe I kind of didn't think about it deeper than what I should have. But,
it's weird
maybe
because
I didn't like Echo.
Interesting. One of the non-white characters, huh? No,
hang on, wait.
No, it's also interesting that I think I like that episode more because I've realized / been pointed out all of the little details that they put into that episode as references to other parts of the show. Things like the rose that Powder is spinning is actually not only just a rose, but it's like a thing of like Echo and Powder sort of looking past each other in silhouette. Or episode 7 of season 1 is Echo and Jinx fighting, and all through that episode it's all about Echo going, here is this person that I used to, you know, care very deeply about and is clearly gone, and now one season later, here is this person who I thought I used to care about and is now deeply gone is no longer gone, and just that kind of existential whiplash that comes with that. So it's difficult. It's difficult not to give you some fart sniffing answer of like, well, you just need to understand it more deeply to get it, because if on the first watch it didn't land for you, I don't know that there's a huge amount of talking that would convince you of how it should have landed. But it's just interesting that so many people, I've seen criticisms of season 2, but very few of the criticisms I've seen for season 2 center around whether episode 7 was necessary. So I guess thank you for bringing that novel viewpoint in. We should probably tell Seth that it's safe to come back.
Nah, fuck him. My media comprehension would be no good as well. Yeah, let's bring him back. Come back, Seth, but I'm going to write it C-U-M. Then he put safe. I guess that's kind of funny as well.
Oh, I misspelled his name. Damn. Just need to wait for him to actually say that he's back. Yeah, it's there are so many parts of it that I want to discuss. There are so many parts of it that I think the bits that I want to discuss for why it's higher up in my top 5, because I've already said that it's up my top 5. Yeah, I think I can discuss the bits that hit for me.
Just so everybody knows. No, hang on. No, we're not fucking ignoring that. Just so that everybody knows what fucking degenerate Seth is. He wrote coming, but he spells it C-U-M-M-I-N-G.
Excuse you, before I wrote that, you said come back, Seth, writing it C-U-M. I was just following your lead.
You're fucking disgusting. Grow up.
Cool, so now that we're all back. Anyway, so the ultimate spoiler of season 2 is... yeah, bit of a tangent, but I think it's worthwhile, because that gets me through a bunch of the discussion that I was going to have about where it is in some of my top 5 stuff as well. So...
Arcane's fantastic. Everybody go watch it. I'm not asking. This is a threat.
Maybe later after I pirate it.
Wow.
Sorry?
This man.
At FBI, FCIA, at Nintendo.
Anyway, Seth, your number 5 pick.
My number 5 pick is the Fallout TV show, after Steven dunked on it earlier for not being as good as Arcane.
Oh, you haven't seen Arcane, I guess, though. But you are right. The Fallout show is very good.
Yeah, no, I just found it to be a really enjoyable show. Like, I'm not super huge on the Fallout games. Like, I played a little bit of Free and a little bit of New Vegas, but I've never actually finished them. But the worlds were always enjoyable, and the TV show added this element of campiness to the world of Fallout that I didn't experience in the game, so I don't know if they are there or not. Like, there was some campiness, like in Fallout 3 when you're in your first, when you're in the tutorial shelter. It's like, oh, all the people that hate you here are all like 50s greasers, and that's like just a funny thing to put up with. But it felt like they turned those campy elements up to 11 in the TV show, and I really appreciated it for that. And just overall, it was a fun show to watch. And the final few episodes, when all the plot lines are starting to converge, it's starting to unravel all of the mysteries. It's like really good TV.
Yeah,
it's good. Yeah, it is a good show.
My favorite take on it was actually on the back of Arcane, but you know it's only because Arcane came out after Fallout. But main actress in Fallout is Ella. Remind me.
Hold on.
Ella Purney.
Purnell or something. Ella.
Purnell. That's what I said. Ella Purney.
Purnell.
That's what I said.
Ella Purnell. Cool. The best take that I saw of it was either Ella Purnell just in with a shot to win like best video game adaptation because she's in there twice for like 1 year, and 2, I really hope companies finally start seeing the message about video game adaptations. You don't need to craft compelling narratives, you just need to cast Ella Purnell.
Hang on, she's in... I didn't realize she was in Arcane.
Yeah.
Who's she play? Oh, she's Jinx.
Yeah, man.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
She goaded to the source. Holy shit.
I'll be honest.
Old favorite actress, new favorite actress just dropped.
I'll be honest, season 1 Arcane, it was like, okay, cool. I don't really know too many people in this cast. Fallout TV show comes out. Oh, cool. I don't really know too many people in this cast. And then people talking about like, man, isn't it crazy that Ella Purnell's gone from like Arcane to Fallout? Like, who was she? Such a good, like amazing portrayal of Jinx / Powder in Arcane.
You know how Lucy goes in Fallout? I can really see how she'd captured Jinx.
Yeah.
No, she's fucking fantastic. Holy shit. she captures Jinx and her struggles very, very well.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
It was also said that, shoot, was there another video game adaptation that just did absolutely fucking just shithouse this year?
This year?
Tomb Raider, Castlevania. I
can't remember. The context of it was Ella saying while getting ready for the role in Fallout, just playing the shit out of the games and really wanting to step up, or maybe it was a comparison to Halo. That might have been what it was. But Ella in interviews saying like, yeah, I've been playing the shit out of Fallout and like really trying to like just absorb as much lore and just like spending tons of time on the wiki and just really like she wanted to feel worthy to play this like main character in this video game franchise that everyone loves. And then that was contrasted against it might have even been some of the writers of previous Halo games or something, them saying, actually, we think it's good to get a fresh perspective by having someone that's never played a Halo game, and then just kind of crow-catting like, oh, and you thought that would work out, and then just sort of go through the list of Metacritic scores of it just being in the toilet as a result, because it just kind of mistreats the IP. But no, Ella firmly in the good graces of video game fans at the moment.
Yeah, I don't think there's more for me to say about my number 5. It was just...
Yeah.
It was really good.
Yeah, it was. I believe they announced a season 2. I could be wrong on that.
Yeah, they're already in the midst of filming it, I think.
Yeah, I'm very excited for that. It's a very good show. Cool. The number 4 picks. Why don't we... it would seem weird to make Seth go back to back, but it would be weird if it was just the same 3 people going in order every time. So I guess Steve,
Patrick, and then we cycle it like that.
Pretty much, yeah.
So my number 4, because I ifed and ummed about. Hang on, wait, we are doing number 4 now. I'm not having a stroke.
Yes, we are.
No.
Yeah, cool. Sorry. Yeah.
Steve, you've been in a coma again.
I was reading my notes of like why I'm going to talk about this, but
the Mentos truck crashed into the Coca-Cola truck and you blacked out.
I went and played Earthbound halfway through the year. The classic fucking SNES game, Super Nintendo Entertainment System, from like 96 or 97 or whatever it was. And I've like tried to play this game like 2 or 3 times before, and I kind of get to a point where it's like, I don't want to play it anymore. I put it down, never get to it. But played it on the Switch Online, backwards combat thing, whatever they call it, the free games they give out. And I really, really enjoyed it. I'm so glad I went back and played it. Just it holds up in such a good way. Like there are a couple of outdated mechanics and all that type of stuff, but like it holds up in such a way that it's like very refreshing to go and play that and be like, oh, like this game is nearly as old as I am, which is a weird thing to say, and be like, it holds up fantastically. And I do think it is, if anybody is a fan of like RPGs or like turn-based combat, they should go and play this. Like I'm kind of on that because it is that good. Like, and there are so many ideas that this has, and it's probably not the first one of these to do it, but it's in the delivery of it. Like the artwork is like nice and charming. Like even though it's all sprites, the soundtrack iconic. It's so good. Like it like when it's the music's playing, and even though they've got that 8-bit soundtrack, like it's just very good from like the different towns, all 7 different towns and the different areas and the different combat encounters. Fantastic. And you've got like the writing as well, and the writing is that very good mix of funny when it needs to be, goofy most of the time, but when it's a serious situation, it's like, all right, these are the stakes, this is it, go do what you got to do. And I really like that. It's just, it's just a shame we never got Mother 3. Like, there is that Earthbound Origins game, which is the prequel, and apparently that's like not too bad, but I'm not going to go back and do that. But from what I've heard, Mother 3, the sequel to Earthbound, it builds on this in every single possible way. And maybe I will emulate the fan translation one day if it's as good as what I said. But at this stage, Earthbound, fantastic. I'm so glad I went and played it this year. Like, it's fantastic. And it's good to kind of see, like, Ness, this character that I've grown up with in Smash Brothers, in his own actual game.
There's a lot of Nintendo characters that are in that category of, I know you from Smash. Your main games are dead.
Like Lucas, yeah, like Lucas, or pretty much most of the Fire Emblem characters.
Cast.
Yeah, or like a Rob or anything. Like
Captain Falcon.
That too, in Dead Media. It's yeah, I'm very glad I played it, and I very highly encourage everybody else to play. Like I take the point it's probably not for everybody. It is quite long, and it does kind of suffer from pacing issues because it's just games of that time kind of had all this type of thing, and the combat can get a bit bullshit at sometimes, especially like to the random element to it at times. But it's fun. It's great. I really enjoyed it. Everybody go play Earthbound.
Yeah, Earthbound's on my list of games I want to play. It's everything I've seen and heard about it. It seems like an incredibly charming game. It's just one of those things where every year it just gets kind of pushed back a little bit more. But I do want to play it at some point.
Everybody go play it.
All right. Anything else you want to add to that, or we move on?
Nah.
Okay, so my number 4 is Steven talked shit about this one too by saying you shouldn't binge things. My number 4 is binging the entirety of The Bear while sick, which is technically cheating because it's 3 seasons, but season 3 came out this year, so I'm counting it.
Shit, so it did. Ooh. Fuck, do I have to update my top 5? I completely forgot that was this year. Holy shit. Okay, no, continue. This is my burden to bear. I'll deal with it.
Yeah, even though The Bear season 3 is probably the weakest season for me, it was still a phenomenal TV show. I don't recommend watching it while sick because that kind of dragged down the experience, but it gave me an excuse to just watch the entirety of it, and I'm so glad I did because, oh my god, some of the things in that show is exaggerated, but it's only slightly exaggerated of what it's like to work in a kitchen. And I was getting anxiety seeing some of those things happen in that show. Very well scripted show, well shot, absolutely fantastic characters. It's just one of those things that's like extremely good all throughout. Like there's no real negative points besides season 3 focusing on different elements of the show than what most people really came to the show for. But season 1 was so phenomenal and season 2 was so strong that it pushes it into that top 5 list very easily.
Yeah, I've got to watch it. Watching something when you're sick doesn't count, man. Does it?
I don't know, you're the one that's saying it doesn't.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, I gotta go watch The Bear.
Highly recommends The Bear. And
cool.
now I pass the talking stick to Patrick.
Cool. There we go. Just had to make sure. My number 4 pick. We're gonna do an album. I want to schmix it up a little bit.
Is it a Schlatt Christmas album?
It is. Imagine though. No, it is the 21 Pilots album Clancy, which came out this year, and on its own,
that's not a bad one.
I'd say it's a very good album. I think the reason why it's number 4 for me is because it's a little biased. I'll be honest, but I ended up seeing the concert. That would have only been 3 weeks ago now. Yeah, as part of their tour, and yes, they played a bunch of songs from Clancy, but they also played just banger after banger from their previous albums. And man, I've been to 2 21 Pilots concerts. The concerts are so good. So that whole experience factors into why I really enjoyed the album this year, because without the album, the tour wouldn't have happened. So it's a bit of a cycle, you know? But no, I don't really expect there to be a massive amount of discussion. Just the whole album's good. It's a very enjoyable album. And yeah, I wanted to, I guess, give a nod to other forms of media because I don't know that we get too many album reviews on the regular show. Yeah, I know. It's been a bit of a drip feed. Every so often there's one if I remember to think of it, but sometimes you just listen through an album and go, that was fine, but it's not that standouty for what I expected or hoped, and then it becomes a bit like, why would we bring it up on
holy shit, can I do an album now? Fuck, I didn't even think about this. Albums.
Yeah, see, it's kind of true. It's like you suddenly get a curveball. You're like, right, that's a form of media.
But I love that all these number 4 discussions have gone, oh shit, that's a thing, right? I should update my list.
We're doing it live. We're doing it live.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, I'm not going to, but can I give out an honorable mention?
Save it for the honorable mention part.
Yeah.
All right, I will. Honorable mentions.
And why don't we move closer to the honorable mention part by going to the number 3s of the list?
All right, that's me first. My number 3 right now is I'd like to follow in Patrick's footsteps and go with a single this time rather than an album, and it's Kendrick Lamar's "Not Like Us," and the downfall of Drake that came out afterwards. No, I'm actually kidding. Even though that was a phenomenal saga and that is still ongoing, that's not my number 3. My number 3 is something I talked about on the podcast not too long ago, and it's Neo: The World Ends With You.
Oh.
Like, I feel like I may have done a poor job describing it on the podcast episode, but this was just a very, very fun game to play. Like, I'm still really digging the vibes of the game to this point in time. Like, I think like a month or two removed from playing the game, and I'm still thinking about how good the characters are, how good the story was, how good the OST was. I'm still listening to the OST every now and then. I'm listening to people do covers of the OST. It's the vibes of this game just carried it so much for me, and it's also just a fun game to play. So mixing those two things together is like peak Seth media.
Nice.
Did you end up buying? Was it? I can't remember if it was you. So on this very program, someone was saying that they were going to buy the. Oh, maybe it wasn't you. Maybe it was just a fucking Twitter thread I read that someone was going to buy the vinyl of this soundtrack.
I didn't even know if Neo: The World Ends With You does have a vinyl.
Maybe I'm getting confused. I'm usually am. Never mind. Please ignore me. My brain is not big enough for multiple conversations or fucking strains of thought, it seems.
But now I hand the talking stick back to Patrick again.
Of course.
Do I get a fucking chat? Do I get my
You're
number
last
3?
on this one.
Is that how it works? I thought.
Yes, we're cycling.
Man's never cycled in his life. Man looks at a bike lane and goes, "What the fuck is this?"
Hold on, I'll type it out so Stephen can see how the order goes.
But like a cycle, it goes in a cycle, like a circle. Like I'm not being gaslit here, am I? You're thinking of a pendulum.
Has anyone? No, Steve, they're a band.
No, it's actually a way of summoning Yu-Gi-Oh.
My number 3, Steve, it's fine. Just trust the process, okay? Trust the process. My number 3 is a game that probably doesn't surprise anyone for being in my top 5 this year. Space Marine 2.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah.
It's a game that, yes, I had my gripes with the UI. Yes, I still have my gripes with the UI occasionally, but the gameplay loop is so solid, and all of the little details and little nods to the lore and trying to make everything as Space Marine-y as possible, and just how fun such a simple game is. It's been really enjoyable. I don't really have much follow-up on it to say, really.
Have you actually, genuine question, and as we get to the top 3, I'm probably going to start, especially with these type of, for better word in quotation marks, live service games. Are you going back to it? Like, when was the last time you played this game?
Yesterday.
Oh,
that's fairly recent.
Yeah, eat shit.
Yeah, I tipped my hat to you.
No. There was a bit of a gap there, and part of me only playing it again recently is because I've been playing it with a friend of mine, and a friend of mine was like, "Yo, let's play Space Marine," because he's been on holiday, he hasn't been able to play it for a bit. That we're back and like kicking it up again, and just like I've done everything. I'll just come out and say it. I've done everything, not on the highest difficulty, super late game, like designed for a squad of 4 that you're all in voice communication with, because that's too much coordination. But I have seen all of the content of the game, for want of a better word. And, oh, holy shit. Actually, I can announce this. I got the Platinum Trophy yesterday.
Ooh, nice.
Hey!
Because I think I mentioned in my last Space Marine update, the final thing that I had to get was the kill 41,000 enemies. And finally cracked that yesterday. So, Platinum Trophy me. Wahoo. 1.8% completion, I think, on PlayStation, which, given how many people have been playing that game, is a very small number.
Is it a hard Platinum Trophy to get?
It's not.
Is it grindy?
It's a bit grindy, I'd say. It's not this, like, I was most of the way to getting the Platinum Trophy fairly quickly of just see trophy, get trophy. But things like killing 41,000 enemies, that's a grind. No matter what you're doing, that's a grind.
That's just playing the game, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, very fun. They are continuing to put new updates into it. I'd obviously love if the updates were more frequent. It would give me more of a reason to go back on long stints, but I also kind of enjoy that there's a new update, you just play the new update content, and then you're at a sort of crossroads of like, I've enjoyed what I've played, I don't need to continue grinding, for want of a better word, and just sort of like experiencing the new content, and then if there are other people playing, you're like, yep, sweet, let's gear up, let's game on, but otherwise just putting it down again and going about your day, and it's rare that I can play a game enough that I appreciate being in that kind of position for it, and I do. So, good job, Space Marine. The true Space Marines
Space
were the friends we made
Marine.
along the way.
Yeah. Did it have Ella Purnell in it?
Yeah, she was the Space Marine. She's actually going to be the one in the live action. I passed the talking stick to for picks number 2 for Seth. No, I'm kidding. No, Steve, this is where you get to do your number 3 pick.
So my number 3 pick, well, I'm not doing that one anymore, am I? And my top 3, I want to. I think these are very interchangeable. I couldn't pick one. So this is 3 in the sense of gun to my head. I've got 2 bullets. Which one am I shooting first? Yakuza Like a Dragon. Oh, myself. Yakuza Like a Dragon. I think this game, as someone that's played like the 7 Like a Dragon games like previously, and has actually played the spin-off Yakuza Like a Dragon, The Man Who Raised His Name after this, I feel what they've done to the franchise as a whole is a complete reinvention to the point of it's just like an evolution. It is a complete reinvention to the point that it's like it has kept the base elements of what makes the Yakuza series so great, but it has transcended those elements by going in a different direction, if that makes sense. Like, I'm trying to think of like a caterpillar evolving into a butterfly type of thing, but I think a butterfly is better in every single aspect. But it's to go from a beat 'em up with a very serious character to go to a turn-based party style guy that is main character that is just very happy-go-lucky, believing in the power of friendship type of stuff. Like, it is such a not a heel turn, but it's definitely a flip, and it's definitely one that is, it doesn't feel unnecessary. It just feels like, yep, we're done with Kiryu, the serious man, and now we're going to Ichiban, and he's very friendly, and to reflect his friendly personality, he's got a party.
And he loves Dragon Quest.
And he's delusional, so he loves Dragon Quest. So instead of the beat 'em up and like it's just turn based, I think it's fantastic, and it captures the soul, but it has put the soul in a different body, and the different body is perfect for the soul, and it's in a way that it's like, I didn't think this was going to work, but holy shit, it did. And from everything I've heard from the sequel, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, apparently that not only makes it better, it has once again transcended. And I'm so looking forward to playing that sometime in the future. But it is very big. I did get the platinum on that about 2 or 3 weeks ago. The last boss, the last thing you have to do is like the true final boss, and it's like probably 10 hours of grinding. And it's one of those dungeons that if you make the one wrong move, you'll go back to the start. And I was so fucking scared when I got to the final boss. I was like, I've been doing this for 2.5. And then the dungeon actually took me like 2.5 hours to get through. I was so fucking glad when I did it. So I got the platinum for that. Well, the other 100%er. That's X Knights call it. But yeah, Like a Dragon, love it. I just love the series.
That's cool. I guess Steve gets to pass the talking stick on to Seth then. For number 3.
Yeah.
But wait, no,
Number
we're on to
2.
number 2 picks. What am I doing?
Yeah, I'm number 2.
Someone has been
Take it
keeping
away,
track of it.
toys.
And that's Patrick starting off with number 2 as well.
What?
That's how the order goes. You're starting number 2.
Okay, I feel like now I've lost track of the cycle, but you know what?
See,
That's fine.
I knew it. Why are we doing a pendulum? It's not even a weird pendulum. Like
It's snake rotation.
Patrick, Steven, Seth, Patrick, Steve, Patrick, Steven, Seth, Patrick. I don't understand this.
It's snake rotation.
Moving swiftly along. Right, so what is my number 2 pick? This, I agree with Steven. It's really difficult to put like top 3 in a particular order. Like you're tossing a couple honorable mentions there. Whole bunch of things. Like you ask me tomorrow, my top 3 might be different, you know? But
Yeah,
Y'all are
you
weak.
get
I
fancy
got mine
best
pretty
times, yeah.
easily. It was figuring out number 5 that was the hard part.
this guy. Okay, well, fine. Number 2 for me, another game came out this year. Perhaps you've heard of it. Balatro.
Yeah, I gotta get to that one.
Yeah.
When I eventually
Yeah.
get to that one, that might make my top 5, I feel. And it'll
Yeah,
knock something else out.
It's a game that it's really... I've tried describing it to a couple people that, like, you say, like, a roguelike deck builder, and then you have to explain what those words mean, and you've already lost them. It's a game that...
To a non-gamer, yeah, you've lost.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a sort of game, I think I remember saying this when I first talked about it here, in that if you play it enough, you just look at a single screenshot of someone playing it, and you know so much about the game that they are playing, and like the strategy that they're going for, and all this sort of kind of unspoken meta that just comes with wanting to play this game over and over again. And I bought it and played the crap out of it when it came out on PC. And then when they said, hey, it's coming to mobile, I went, well, I've got a mobile phone that could probably use with playing some Balatro, and it's just as fun replaying it on mobile as it has been on PC. It's a game that I think, for how simple it is on the tin, every time you go into it, other than getting absolutely just fisted by Lady Luck herself, you come out with like a, I saw the matrix, I saw the strategy came together, and it was glorious. And you just get that one run that just makes you feel so powerful to make up for like the 5 or 10 runs before now that was just you getting just stiffed on just every like decision that you thought was making the right thing, and it just wasn't. But no, it's an amazing game for how like it's falling into my own trap a bit, in that I heard other people talk about this game and go, this game is amazing, you should play it. And I don't know why, there's just something about hearing people say that you're just like, but if I get it and then I don't have the greatest time of my life with it, it's gonna seem like it was overhyped. Even if it's a very good game, for people to say how good the game was, and then for me to play it, if it's not the best game ever, then it's gonna feel like it was overhyped and I'm not gonna enjoy it as much. I don't think this game was overhyped by how much people would talk about and how good it was. And all of the little bingo card monkey brain check marks that a game developer has to hit for me to become borderline addicted to it. I say borderline because I think I was addicted to it, and then eventually I just sort of cold turkeyed my way back to reality. But yeah, it's a phenomenally novel concept and a fantastic execution. And it's yeah, I can say that of all the hours that I've put into things this year, I've played other things for longer. But I think, actually, I think Balatro, is that true? Have I played Balatro the longest this year? Because the only reason I think of that is because I was talking about Space Marine with my friend yesterday, and he was wondering how many hours I had in it compared to him, and I was at 90 something hours. I'm just going to quickly check my Steam for Balatro because I'm curious now. There's another maybe couple hours based on me just playing it on my phone, but if Steam will open for me, I can get you those usage stats, and it's
Wait, hang on.
bouncing.
Did you buy the phone version?
I did. No, that's me coming out and saying, yep, bought it twice.
You know, I get the feeling if you buy something twice, it automatically makes it like, it bumps it into a different tier of something. Like,
yeah,
you're
willing to buy it on multiple devices. It says something about the quality of it.
Yeah, like hands on my heart, like we've all done this. Like I own Skyrim on the Xbox 360, and I bought the Xbox One version, like 8 years later, wherever it was, because I did. What are you gonna do about it? Sue me. But I bought GTA 5, the Xbox Series X version as well. Like it was great.
Yeah. Yep.
Someone with a better knowledge of money help me manage the economy.
Please help, my family is dying. Yeah.
I soup for dinner every night.
Steam says I have 73 hours in Balatro, so that plus time that I spent playing it on my phone, let's call it an even 80. So yes, I've technically played Space Marine 2 for longer, but I think I think a lot of Space Marine 2 is grinding the same content over again because I've enjoyed the grind. Whereas this, I have played... Sorry, I'm explaining that point badly. I finished what I'm pretty sure is 95% of the content in Space Marine 2 after maybe hour 20 to 30. And then after that, it was just enjoy the grind, second screen, a Netflix show, that sort of thing. You know how it is. You know how I play. Balatro, I'm still unlocking things and getting new strategies and trying to get more out of the game after 74 hours. And so that's why I put it above Space Marine 2 in my book.
Yeah, okay, and I think that's kind of fair as well.
Well, I'm glad you think it's fair, because that's what I'm standing by.
Yeah, well, I bought Balatro for the Switch, and I don't know why I haven't started playing it, to be honest. Maybe I'm scared of it.
That's fair.
I'll be picking up Balatro this week while the Steam sale is still going on.
I reckon getting on... I was going to say getting on the Switch is better, but I don't know why.
Cool. Well, I get to pass the talking stick to, I guess, Seth knows better than I do now. The cycle has been lost on me. Who's doing
it's Steven.
It's me. Finally.
Well, it was. I was scared you'd say that, but yeah.
So this game, and this is a game that everybody's probably forgotten about because I spoke about it right at the start of the year. Baldur's Gate 3. It's fantastic. Like the way it presents because there's all those top-down, what are they, CRPGs type of thing. Like the way it presents that and tells a compelling narrative, and just the way it captured a lot of different, like lovers of like Dungeons and Dragons and lovers of video games as well. It is probably like the most iconic, like, or not the most iconic, but one of the most iconic kind of RPGs of I'd probably say the last 10 or so years. Like just the branching level, like so the branching quest designs, like the variety of quests. Like there is that kind of criticism about like Act 3, it kind of falls off, but I don't really think that's true. I just think Act 3 is a bit simpler because you're in a big city. It's like, what else can they do? You're not in the wilderness anymore, fighting goblins and shit. And just like the character customization is fantastic. The party members, also very, very good. And the gameplay is so... It's not true to Dungeons and Dragons because there's no way it could be, because Dungeons and Dragons doesn't really translate well to a video game in terms of the combat, but they've translated key elements to video game sense, and it translates very well. And as someone who's a big fan of Dungeons and Dragons, it is fucking fantastic as well. From the different like options, like different dialogue options, different ways to approach different situations, the different ways you can level up not only your class and your character, but how you can do it with your party members as well. And I think I did speak about it at like the end. It gets not difficult, but at the end of some of the quests, it's like, all right, we're just going to throw like 20 enemies at you. And it feels like you've either by that point got like a broken build that just kind of like, yeah, cool, I press 2 buttons and I'm done and I just wipe everybody out. Or you have to kind of cheese it and like, oh, cool, I cast rain and then I cast like lightning bolt and everybody gets shocked and I get like 4 turns in a row. But I think that's just kind of higher level Dungeons and Dragons problem, not really a problem with the game. But yeah, so good. So good.
I do need to get back to that. I really enjoyed the time I had with it. I just haven't finished it yet.
It's your homework. But it is fucking long. I think I put like 90 hours into that game. Like I'll admit I fucking played so much of it. And a bunch of that playtime is just like, whoops, fuck the combat encounter. I got to start again. And that's fine. It is what it is. But like, and I did like 90% of the side quests. So good. So good. Will I go back and play it again? I don't know. I kind of burnt out by the end of it. But like, you can't actually play a game for 90 hours and be like, oh, I'm not burnt out. That's fucking insane. Maybe in like a year or two. Okay, our talking stick goes to Seth.
Yes, hi.
I was trying to do the DJ thing and didn't work.
My number 2 is something way more recent. It's Metaphor Refantasio.
That's your number 2.
Yeah, that's my number 2.
Huge.
This game was fantastic. I took the time to do 30 hours of grinding wrong for something that was like they really expected you to just do all of the grinding stuff in New Game Plus instead of doing it on your first playthrough. and it's very obvious that they had that intention, and I said no, fuck you, I'm doing it this way because I have time. But no, this is really good. Like, as someone that really enjoys the Persona games and other Atlas games, this is just all of their. This has just taken everything that they've learned across their 30 or so years, I think it is, that they've been around, maybe a bit longer. But yeah, they've just taken all of the best elements of their old games and made something that's phenomenal. It's got extremely good writing, even by Atlas standards. Like, there's so many elements of this game story that just pop up on a different level. All of the characters are really well written and well realized. All the social links are really well done. The amount of stuff that they've trimmed from the Persona games to make this a more concise game was really smart. And yeah, no, this was just phenomenal to play. One of the best RPGs I played in recent memory, if not like just in general.
It's funny how you say that, like, they've concised a bunch of stuff from the Persona series, but like, didn't you put like 1 million hours into the game?
Yeah, no, I did it wrong, but it's things like Persona will have elements where it's like, hey, it's summer vacation time to go do summer vacation things, and it feels like a little bit of a lull in the story, and this game avoids doing that. And there's also a bunch of different inversions in how they do designs. Like, let's say in Persona you got to go, like, you're given a lot of time. It's like, oh, hey, you can hit up this dungeon whenever you want, and then when you finish a dungeon, it's like, yeah, hang out with your friends until deadline happens. Every now and then in this game, it'll be like, hey, no, you're not going to infiltrate this place until this exact day. You got 2 weeks of time. Go spend time with your friends until we tell you to go do this. And changing the scripts in that sort of way is like a really interesting way to handle some moments in this story, and all of them are done extremely well.
God, I wish we were going to play that. Cannot wait for it. Just don't have the time.
It's shorter than the other Persona games, so you can make the time.
When it's going to be 75% off. Have they announced that there's going to be DLC for this?
No, they haven't. And they could. They always find a way how to, but it'd be a bit tough to try and insert another DLC into this like they did for Royal or Persona 5 or the Golden segment.
Yeah, okay.
But yes, talking stick back to Steven, it is time for the number ones.
Honourable mentions first.
All right, yeah, honourable mentions first.
This guy trying to come straight to the finale. Who does he think he is?
I guess you start with No, me?
Yeah, you. Still you.
Me. So do I say all my honourable mentions?
Yeah. Go for your honourable mentions.
Okay, cool. Honourable mention to Power World. Just the I don't want to encourage the discourse that this fucking game did, as in it was like, either this game is the best thing in the entire world compared to Pokemon, or this game is going to get sued into oblivion by copying Pokemon. I hated that fucking discourse. Like, it can just exist. Who fucking cares?
And now it is being sued into oblivion.
For mechanics that Pokemon, also that Nintendo patented after the game came out. Yeah, cool. All best. I'm very interested to see how that happens. But yeah, like it was very good. It was very different type of thing, and I think just the hype around it and the similarities to Pokemon, and how it was even described at the Game Awards last year as Pokemon with guns. Like, Jeff Keighley said those words, and it's Pokemon just because they've got the monster designs that are kind of cute and scary and all this other different type of stuff. But yeah, I'll mention the Power World. I enjoyed my time. I'll eventually go back to it to kind of see how it goes with the updates, because it's still in early access, don't forget.
There is a big update coming out soon.
Yep. Still in early access though. Kingdom Come Deliverance. I'm just very happy that I actually got around to that game, and I did really enjoy it. Even if it did take me a bit longer than I thought it did, but did love it. Did love the Adventures of Henry. Can't wait for number 2. And the album by Charlie XCX, Brat. Such a good album.
Did it come out
it's
in
kind
summer?
of a bit overplayed now, but well. Yeah. It was Brat Summer, remember? Came out in like what? June? July? So yeah, I'm having my Brat Summer
that's winter.
now because it's summer in Australia. Yeah, but like the way that the Earth works, Seth, there's like 2 halves to it. there's like the northern hemisphere and then the southern hemisphere. And in the southern hemisphere, it's like the seasons are flipped. So it's like winter is in June, July, August, whereas in summer, where the album was released, because Charlie XCX is from the UK, summer's actually in like those June, July, August months. So it actually was like a Brat summer when it was released.
Yeah, but as incorrect, it should conform to what it's like in my part of the world. So it was actually Brat winter.
Remember that time that you thought Mexicans spoke Mexican and not Spanish?
Remember that time I made you say no gigante?
No. That's what I said.
It is very clearly not what you said.
Anyway,
Lord,
Pat,
just
I'm handing the torch off
just
you.
nukes at each other. Far out. Oh.
It's a piss nuke incoming! Everybody get down!
Okay, so the honorable mentions.
Honorable
for
mention
me.
a piss nuke incoming.
I'm gonna tie in one other in there. In the game that I didn't get to but wish I did for 2024, Baldur's Gate 3. Easily. Like I on my list, waiting for it to go on sale to I know it's technically on sale at the moment, but I'm not in enough of a rush to want to play it that I can wait for a bigger sale. I got enough shit
and
to
honestly,
do.
it's not that much cheaper on sale right now.
Yeah, exactly. It's 20% off, and as Steven would say, we don't get out of bed until it's at least 40. So we'll see if it gets
75.
there.
I've never said 40. I've only said 75.
Well, he didn't say he'd
Whoops,
buy
sorry, I
it
just shot my
at
phone.
40%. He just said he'd get out of bed for it.
Technicality.
Right, you got me there.
Yeah, so that one's the games that I wanted to play but haven't gotten to. The honorable mentions for me, I have two because I couldn't think of just one. For me, one is Astrobot. I don't think I need to explain why it's an honorable mention. Phenomenal
And just
game.
for that, I'm taking it out of my list. Because now it doesn't need to be brought up.
Oh. Yeah. Honorable mention. Yeah. Phenomenal game. It's awesome. It's even better is the feeling that I get when I log into it and I see that I've beaten Seth in at least some of the time trial levels, even though I don't say this lightly, pretty sure he cheated at one of them. So it's a fun game, and I love not only what it's done, but also just all of the member-berry nostalgia of how good old PlayStation titles are, and how desperate we are for Sony to stop announcing remakes of games that came out 2 years ago. And please dust off some of the older Scrimbly Bengus IP. Fuck
Just
me, we need
update
it
Bloodborne.
badly.
You don't even need to re-release it. Just fix the frame pacing issue.
Yeah, so that's one. Number two, it feels like a bit of a cop out, honestly, but Pokemon TCG Pocket. I'm willing to stand by making it an honorable mention because I am a self-confessed Monster Hunter Now addict. I've been playing Monster Hunter Now since it came out for, I guess, a year and a half now. I don't actually remember when it came out. Playing it religiously, like borderline daily. Since Pokemon Pocket has come out, I have continued to play Monster Hunter Now, but it is so little compared to what I've been playing before that it's honestly just impressive. And the presentation, the collectability, how easy the PvP is to get into. It's just a delightful mobile game experience that makes my credit card itchy. And that's dangerous for me because I have spent money on Monster Hunter Now. It has been an amount that I'm happy with over how long I've been playing it for and how many hours of enjoyment that I've gotten out of it. And Pokemon Pocket is almost making me want to hand my credit card details over to, I guess, Nintendo and
Pikachu.
Whoever they have. What?
Pikachu.
I guess, yeah, Pikachu specifically, sure. But yeah, no, very much enjoying it and very much waiting for more updates to come out to that with more packs and things. But it's funny that I heard about people playing this game because it started a month early in New Zealand as the soft launch, the global soft launch location. Heard people playing it and went, I know about the Pokemon TCG, but not really my thing. Probably not going to get into it. And it was just offhanded comments from one of you chucklefucks going, we're all downloading and playing this, right? And I went, oh, yeah.
It was me, yeah.
And then however many
and I got confused and I thought I got downloaded the wrong one.
Yeah, and then however many hours of entertainment later, it's now bled into things like my YouTube algorithm where I'm getting shorts of people opening actual TCG packs.
Ooh, getting the real life.
Yeah, I have no interest in playing or collecting the real life one, just because one, I'm poor, and some of the money that goes for these things is just insane. But two, I already have so many things that I unironically want to start selling. Like I need like a couple large garage sale type things next year to just thin out some of my just stuff. And the idea of just adding to that pile of stuff with a binder of cards that I like is it's a hard sell for me. So those are my honorable mentions. Who am I passing the talking stick to?
That would be me.
Back to me.
My honorable mentions, I'd like to throw in Tekken 8 as one of them. This is something that came out at the very start of the year, and I've been playing it quite a bit throughout the year. Like, I take little breaks in it. I'm like, okay, I finished my major single-player game for a bit. I'm going to grind out Tekken for a couple of weeks before moving on to the next thing, and it's just been really fun to play throughout the year. There was a bit of a kerfuffle, I want to say, about how they handled their stage DLC, and after the entire community bashed in Namco's head for that, they seem to be pulling back on their DLC plans a little bit for next year, hopefully. But no, the game's been in a really healthy place, and I've been enjoying every revisit of the game I've done, and just trying to casually learn different characters. Playing it that one time with Patrick was also very fun in how that panda wasn't doing so good for me as Patrick beat my ass with Xiao Yu. But yeah, no, good. One of the better fighting games to come out in recent years for me. And I want to give a second one shout out to Kunitsugami. This was the cheaper strategy game that Capcom released in the middle of the year. Kind of went under the radar for a lot of people, but this was generally a really fun game. Like, a lot of the map designs they did were a lot of fun and very interestingly laid out. There was a lot of interesting ways that they made you survive the waves throughout the game, and it just felt like as you kept playing it, more and more of the game kept opening up. And yeah, that was just something small that was in the middle of the year that was fairly fun, and I just wanted to give a shout out for. I do want to also throw in a dishonorable mention for something that was very bad this year, and that goes to Dragon's Dogma 2. Biggest disappointment of the year. I don't know what they were cooking with that game. So many elements of that game feel half complete. Like, even character stories feel like they progress to a point where it's like there should be one more act for them to complete their character arc, and it's like that just doesn't exist. Their story ended prematurely, and it's really unsatisfying following their story. And a lot of the game's problems are similar problems that Dragon's Dogma 1 had. And for me, it's like, I excuse it when it was Dragon's Dogma 1 because it's like, this is a brand new thing. Development was a bit shaky on it. They get another chance later to try and improve, and let's see how they handled that. And then this came out, it's like, they made all the same mistakes as Dragon's Dogma 1 again, and I'm like, yeah, no, you don't get a second chance this time. I'm just really upset with how you handled this one. And the end game is one of the worst end games that I've ever played.
Wow.
I nearly bought this on sale. Thank you for talking me out of it, Seth.
Yeah, I do not recommend it at all.
Step back from the ledge, Steve. It's okay.
Yeah. Can I give a dishonorable mention to Final Fantasy 14, Seth? Or like, will you like kill me or something?
You can if you want. What happens next isn't on me.
It's just, I can't remember if I actually said it on this podcast because I was just so fucking disappointed. I played through because it came to Xbox. Yeah, congratulations, we won. Finally, a real game. Thanks for beta testing, etc., etc. And I played through the base game
anymore.
60 hours I fucking toiled in that fucking dog shit base game, going from A to B, not doing anything, and the only good part of the story was the last fucking 20 minutes, and I'm like, all right, you fucking got me, I'm in. But imagine going, like, I play 60 hours of this dog shit game, and then, like, you'll see how you go. Look, I get it. I get the later expansions, like Shadowbringers, whatever it is. It's supposed to be one of the best pieces of media of all time, and I just don't fucking want to get to it, man. Maybe one day.
Built it by a realm reborn.
You get to the end of it, you get burnt out. But just let me skip.
You can. You want to experience a story.
What do you mean? You can't skip a realm reborn. You have to do it.
I mean, I tell people they should do it, but you can totally buy a story skip.
Can you? I'm not paying for a. Can you buy a story skip? That's actually insane. You're paying to skip the game? That's insane. Anyway, I'm done with this. I gave my dishonorable mention. Also, dishonorable mention to Temtem as well. That wasn't a good game. Like, Copy's the worst part about Pokemon.
The competitive
I don't know why I was
aspects.
so excited for that. Sorry?
I said the competitive aspect.
No, it's just yes, yeah, that is the fucking worst part. Just that game is like, all right, I get the point. Like, anyway, the writing's no good in that game either. And then I finished the game, and then like 2 months later, they're like, oh yeah, we're discontinuing the online services. Everything in the shop is free from now on. And I was like, damn it, because I had a bunch of cosmetics and stuff. What a scam. Ugh. What about you, Pat? Any dishonorable mentions? You've been very positive tonight. I don't like it.
Patrick comes in going, no, I only do things I like. I enjoy all my media.
There's definitely, yeah. It's difficult. There's the dishonorable mentions in terms of like, I can come in here and I can say something like The Bear Season 3. Why is it dishonorable? Is it because it's a bad show? No. Is it a dishonorable mention for me because of how much I loved Season 1 and it's not, like it's doing its own thing and I don't like that it's doing its own thing. I want it to be more Season 1-y? Sure. So I don't know where that puts it in terms of like a valid dishonorable mention.
And even if it was a disappointing thing for you in that aspect, I think that's worth saying dishonorable mention. It doesn't have to necessarily be bad.
Yeah, and that's probably the sort of easy low-hanging fruit of that thing. Oh, no, I've got it. Wait, toss all of that out. Dishonorable mention, Borderlands the movie. Can't believe that I'd already mentally repressed it until just now. Holy shit.
I completely forgot I watched
I'm so sorry, The Bear
that.
Season 3. I'm so sorry that I nearly lumped The Bear Season 3 in with that. No, the Borderlands film. Holy shit. I'd only seen it in the last 2 months and I'd already completely wiped it from my mind until literally just now.
Same. I completely forgot I even watched that. I don't even... Did I even put it in my media thread? No, I didn't. It was that bad I forgot to put it into my Excel sheet.
Amazing. No, it's that's the easy dishonorable mention for me. And the thing is, Seth joking, I only watch good media. No, everyone on the planet told me not to watch this film, and I still went, but it can't be that bad.
Oh, but it is.
Yeah, all right. Great call from the haters.
Very true. And you know what? It's got me reared and ready to be heard again for the Minecraft movie, I tell you what. Jack Black can't have two back-to-back stinkers, can he?
Look, he's getting that bag.
He is. Mad respect. No, that's my dishonorable mention. I'm genuinely trying to think if I can think of a game that I've played that would also be a dishonorable mention. I'm sure there is, but I think I've just blocked it out.
The way you talked about Alan Wake 2 almost makes me want to say that.
But again, that's sort of the nitpicky thing though, of like, it's not dishonorable in that, like, to me, a dishonorable thing is like, would I tell people to like do it or not do it? And it doesn't fit in that category. It's still a phenomenal game. It's just a phenomenal game that has this like weird choice about a couple things that feels, man, now I just feel like I'm nitpicking talking about it again. But yeah, when your game is trying so hard to be a 9 out of 10 and is achieving being a 9 out of 10, and then it just goes and does something so stupid that the design feels like a 4 out of 10 game. You're like, what are we doing? What can you not? Can you just make the boards either destructible or non-destructible? Anyway, go back and listen to last week's episode if that reference doesn't make sense. But no, I'm sure there is. Can't think of any. If I think of any randomly between now and the number 1 picks, I'll toss them out. But no, for now, Borderlands is my easy dishonorable mention, and I'm okay with that.
You didn't put the order in for this, so do we just repeat the order, Seth?
We'll go with how number 3 is laid out. So it's me first, then Patrick, then you. So it's time for the number 1.
I can't believe Steve gets the final number 1 pick.
Hey, you guys wanted to do this fucking weird pendulum bullshit.
Bad ending.
Good ending. I'm vindicated with this dog shit pendulum. No, we can't go in a circle. Get fucked.
All right, number 1 picks.
Number 1,
Seth.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I feel like it should have been obvious
Yeah, that makes
instead.
sense.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like it should have been obvious because I did a whole spoiler cast on the channel with that game, and nothing else has gone that distinction this year. No, this is a phenomenal super game. Like, I really enjoyed Final Fantasy VII Remake, and this really expanded on all of the good elements of Final Fantasy VII Remake. The story goes in really good places. It's still more of the same idea of we're going to follow Final Fantasy VII story closely, but there's going to be little offshoots where we either expand on things, change things a little bit, or do new kind of lore details for this sequel-y hook we're going for with how the remake series is. And everything they do is fairly well done, and the final few hours of the game are phenomenal to me. Gameplay is super expanded in a way that's like really enjoyable. This went from like Final Fantasy VII Remake feeling like an RPG that's got action elements stapled onto it into more of, no, this is now an action game that has a lot of versatility by taking advantage of those RPG elements that are associated with it. And yeah, no, it's just this is the kind of direction I really like for RPGs and how they structure out the world and dungeons and everything, because I mentioned it in a spoiler cast, but also for here, it's like, hey, you start off in like a town and then you can exit that town to go into like this wide, big, expansive overworld area that's just all nature. And then at the end of that area, like when you finish the story elements there, you like go into like a very linear dungeon experience. And then when you exit that dungeon, you go back into like another big, expansive area. And it feels like the world is connected in a really interesting way that way. And yeah, no, I feel like they've really realized the Final Fantasy VII world really, really well in this game.
God, I can't wait for this to come to Xbox. There, I said it.
You'll have to wait like 3 years after the third game releases.
I can wait.
But yeah, phenomenal game. That's my number one. Talking stick goes to Patrick.
Sorry, I'm just seeing that someone put Raygun's Olympic dance breakdancing routine as an emote in Black Ops 6.
How good. Why do you think I started playing Black Ops 6?
Yeah, this is now my game of the year.
But is it your number one?
I think it might be your game of all time.
I think it's very easy for anyone that knows me to know what my number one game this year has been. It is the Monster Hunter Wilds open beta demo.
True.
No, but imagine. No, for me, my number one thing this year, Arcane Season 2.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Right on.
Yeah, the only, so we already discussed
Do
a
I
bit
take
of
the
it.
headphones off again?
Yeah, no, you're fine. We got most of the spoilery discussion out of the way for that. The spoiler-free discussion, little bits that I just want to add as to why this is I probably would say the best thing that I have consumed this year, media-wise. I was a massive sucker for Season 1. Like, I've seen Season 1 unironically probably 5 or 6 times.
Good
Jesus Christ, man.
I've watched Season 1 a lot. When Season 2 finished, we started it again from the start the next day and made it all the way to Episode 7.
That's fine.
I'm a sucker for the intersection of a video game world that I'm going to say new rather than know, because I used to know a lot more League than I do now. League lore, than I do now. And I'm kind of okay with that. I definitely think my brain has made better use of that space than at the time, knowing the lore of most of the champions that were released. And God, there's so many champions that have come out since. But Arcane specifically, not only do I absolutely just adore the animation style, but they really, in Season 1, punctuated big moments with just fantastic music choices to the point where I still, just in many playlists, have some of Arcane Season 1 soundtrack. And it's standout. And so when they then not only take the same elements for Season 2, but they expand on it in every possible way. They go bigger in scope. They go bigger in characters. They go bigger on music. They go bigger on story. They basically crafted the perfect Season 2 for me. And yes, I get there's issues that some people have with pacing in places, or like Stephen was talking about, not really getting the point of one of the episodes. Totally fair, totally in there. But Arcane Season 2 made me feel things that very few other things have, with particular emotional beat moments, and it's so hard not to make that the focal point of media that I've consumed this year, because I was moved emotionally at the end of Mass Effect 3. Despite all the issues that people had with the ending, when I played through it the first time,
yeah.
I was moved by it. I was only upset with it when I realized that the second and third playthrough give you basically the same ending, but the ending itself was very impactful to me. On
that same zone, it's because this journey you are on is coming to the end. And because you've loved the journey, you don't want it to end, and that's why there is such a big emotional response with. And because I had the exact same response with Mass Effect, I remember when Mass Effect 3 came out, I suddenly came down with a case of the coughs and couldn't go to school that day.
Yeah.
So very out of character for Steven, but it was good. And even playing the opening level, I remember having just all these emotions. But sorry to go back to Arcane. Yeah, it is fantastic. The title soundtrack, Imagine Dragons. When I first heard it, I'm like, boo this song. And then by the end of it, I'm like, that's my theme song now.
The misery.
Yeah, it's so good.
You are the misery.
More onto your point, Pat, the characters, because you always hear about shows going from season 1 to season 2 and then kind of getting lost along their way and then forgetting their meaning. But I feel that these characters develop on a very natural path, and without doing any big spoilers, it's like, oh, look, they could have done any of these plot points in season 1, but all it is just bigger. There's nothing that comes out of left field or anything, and that's very, very good.
Yeah.
It's a gradual build up, and then things happen, and then there's so good.
Yeah.
I will have a little bit of a whinge about season 3 because it was released in those 3 episode blocks. It definitely feels like 3 episodes blocks. Almost like 3 mini seasons. They're a little bit tied together, but that's nitpicking for the sake of nitpicking.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, a lot of people, the main criticism that I've seen of Arcane, at least season 2, is that there should have been a 4th block of episodes, that people think that a 12 episode season 2 would have been better than a 9 episode season 2. And selfishly, I'm on board with that just because that's more Arcane season 2. But every frame that you can pause on is a fucking work of art. And that's just the animation. Underneath that is stellar voice acting, stellar character writing, stellar music choice. I think I don't know if they did this for season 1 as well, but I'm pretty sure I saw that every track that they have on the season 2 soundtrack as the licensed music for the soundtrack. I guess it wouldn't be licensed because they got the artists to do songs for Arcane season 2. It wasn't this song would work in Arcane season 2. It's they made this song for Arcane season 2. And for me, it all comes together with when the 21 Pilots song comes on, which underpins a major plot point for Victor. That all building together, because I'm of the characters that are in Arcane, I was probably the closest to a Vi main, because you could play a top, you could play a jungle, at least back in the seasons that I played League. But I loved the lore of Victor. Victor was awesome as just as a champ, design. And so all through Arcane season 1, I see Victor building, and it's like, when are we going to get League Victor? And then, without spoiling anything, because it's pretty obvious that that's what they're going to do in Arcane season 2, that we then get League Victor, but it's League Victor with some twists that I'm not going to go into. But all of it combining with 21 Pilots and the visuals and all of the stuff underpinning it and the themes, it's all just, it ticked all the boxes for me. That to be someone that doesn't often feel things when consuming media, to feeling lots of things while consuming just this media, easy number 1 pick for 2024 for me. Do I have to pass the talking stick to Steven now?
I'll throw it at him.
Hey, Steve. Fetch.
I do a triple backflip and catch it with my mouth.
That is the most cringe thing he said in all 125 episodes of this podcast. 126, including the pilot.
One,
did they
one,
get released? I can't
129,
remember.
including the spoiler cast episodes.
Oh, you remember those?
130, including the spoiler cast episode that was lost forever.
Oh, well, it'd be like that sometimes. So my, I don't know.
You can just say Fortnite. We get it, bro.
Godzilla doing the greedy. No, my number one is Sekiro. Shadows Die Twice. I loved this game. Yeah, I think like every year, I went back and looked at the games that I played over the last couple of years, and every year there seems to be like a Souls-like or a From Software game. So last year was Elden Ring. Year before that was Dark Souls 1. And I think even the year before that was Dark Souls 3, maybe? No, Dark Souls 3 was 2018. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Maybe I had a break for a bit. But anyway, it doesn't matter. No, that was Dark Souls 2 was 2018. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But what this game does is like it is very much like your From Software's action hack and slash, but it makes it a lot more. I don't want to say skills based because all those games I think are very skills based, but it works in such a way that it's more tight on the timing. Like you can kind of use the iframes to dodge and be invulnerable for a bit, but like that would take so much longer to beat any of the bosses or even like some normal enemies. It's like the parry system that is like a lot. Like it seems simple on paper, but once you get the hang of it and like when you're up to a boss and you're fucking parrying them nonstop, it is like, you just feel so fucking good. It definitely feels like you have mastered something, and just, there's obviously a tolerance that the game kind of gives you to kind of like, it doesn't have to be perfect. It can be within like couple of a second, but like when you get those timings, when you hit that mark and then you stagger the boss and you do like 1 health bar of damage, like it's just so good and it's so satisfying. And like, I'll be the first to admit that I'm not the best at these type of games. Like I'm a big believer of just throwing myself in it and eventually I'll get it. Whether it's after the 10th time or after the 100th time. But like that final boss, I was literally stuck on there for like nearly 2 weeks, and like got to the point where like my housemate would like come and watch me. He's like, "Oh, we're still up against this one. Hey, Steve, maybe you should like just stop playing." And I'm like, "Fuck you, piece of shit! I'm gonna beat this boss." And I did, and I beat the
Spice
boss.
is the most powerful emotion.
Yeah, like but it was just like knowing that it wasn't, there was nothing I could do to grind to get myself better. Like it's very diminishing returns. There were no items or anything that I could get that would like make that I could cheese the boss fight with. It literally became, unironically, a skill issue. And I was like, all right, well, better lean forward in the chair and lock in. And it was just like, I beat it, and it was at like 7 a.m. or 7:30 or something. Because I wanted to have a quick couple of goes before work. And I think like one of my housemates is at work and the other housemate was asleep because she had night shift. And I was like punching the air. I was doing silent screams. So I didn't want to wake anybody up. But just like the sheer joy that I felt was just like, I fucking done it. I fucking done it. And it's just like, I don't. What? Oh, he's talking to the dog. You didn't mute your mic. Can we leave that? You can edit that in post. Webcam. Insane that your webcam's got a mic. I think that's insane. Now I use my laptop webcam. 240p, baby. People
Let's
pay for those
go.
4 pixels off my feet. Anyway, but yeah, like just the genuine feeling of success, it was just fantastic. And like even like it was good. Like it does like a very different story because it's sort of kind of set in like feudal Japan instead of like a gothic medieval Europe. Like it's very different, and I really, 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 really liked it. And as I've been saying, I think it's one of those things I don't think I've actually said out loud. But it's every game is better with a grapple hook. There's no doubt
so
about it.
True.
It is. Think about it.
You said that exact thing when Halo Infinite came out.
Yeah, I probably did. And then because I fucking loved it. It was good. I've been playing the campaign for Black Ops 6. You know what the best levels have? A fucking grapple hook. Like it's at what point are we like, it's every game should have a grapple hook. Like what are we doing here? Especially if it's first
Belatra is going to
person.
go crazy for you once they put the grapple hook mod in.
Can't wait.
Let me get back to you after I play Bionic Commando 2008.
That reference is lost on me. Does it have a grapple
Yeah,
hook?
same. You could have just said Just Cause and moved on.
Yeah, it has a grapple hook, and the grapple hook is his wife.
Wow. Treating women like objects, huh, Seth? That's rare for you.
No, couldn't. He didn't reply. He's got nothing.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to think of. I'm trying to think of a reply that's not just going. Actually, this is the plot of the game. But I got
Actually,
nothing.
I love women. I just loved Sekiro. I thought it was fucking fantastic. I think, and may I be struck down for saying this, I do think it is better in some aspects than Elden Ring. Like in terms of like the combat itself is better than Elden Ring. Like not in terms of like world design or level design, but the combat is.
Yeah, no, I can believe that because this is a very more action-oriented game that's going for, it's going for the game feel and the combat feel and making that satisfying rather than Elden Ring being the jack of all trades. And Elden Ring doesn't exactly have great combat. It's good combat, but like to a serviceable level, while Sekiro is going all in on being like, no, this is actually very good combat.
Yeah. And like the top criticism is like, oh, you've only got like a sword. There's really only one way to play. And it's like, well, you get better at the game, man. Like that's what it is. Like that's what it says on the tin. But yeah, I fucking loved it. And the fact that it's got oh wait, no, that's not, I was gonna say it's got like an English dub, but like it doesn't really. I don't care about that. Because there's like 3 seconds of talking in that whole game. But yeah, that's my number one. I'm very glad I got around to playing it. Very, very good game. Like if you need an itch to scratch after Elden Ring or any From Software game, or you just want like a high skill based game that makes you feel on top of the world, highly recommend it.
All right. Well, I guess that brings us to the end of the top 5 picks. Wow. I wish I had something more whimsical to say at the end of that, but no, that's cool. A good list, good discussion.
Can I do a wacky catchphrase?
I'd rather you didn't. We exhausted that.
Wait for the best. I don't have one anyway. Thankfully,
Good.
if you said yes, I would have been in trouble.
If you did somehow have a catchphrase, I would have cast a spell of manual breathing on you.
Don't say things like that, man.
Every time I think of that as a spell, it's just very funny to me. Like totally innocuous, but also just terrifying.
I cast
right.
testicular torsion.
Yeah, see that's
No,
painful and kills you unless you get medical attention.
I cast get some bitches.
Curse of Ra. Always a
Ooh,
classic.
that's a good one.
Right. Well, I guess that not only takes us to the end of the tier list for 2024, the end of episode 125, and possibly the end of Fast Travel Lounge. Shall we quickly hit what people are excited for in 2025? Because Lord knows for me it'll be Monster Hunter Wilds, but is there any non-Monster Hunter ones that we want to toss in the ring there? You can't say GTA 6, I think that's confirmed 2026.
Shut up. Bro got Yapology before GTA 6. Oh fuck, I completely forgot. Pokemon Z8 and the Switch 2. Yeah, like realistically, like because I'm traveling for a lot of next year.
Sorry, no, I was thinking just none of us dishonorably mentioned the Pokemon leaks.
I mean, that wasn't media we consumed.
Come on, we all absolutely consumed that media.
That wasn't media in the traditional sense, is what I mean.
No, that's fair. Anyway, you were traveling for a good bit of the time, Steve?
Yeah.
He's upset now that we interrupted him. He's not going to finish properly.
No, I'm joking. I've been revving you up. I'll be traveling for most of next year. So if the Switch 2 comes out, let's say in March, and I'm at fucking base camp Everest, I'll have to think of something.
Don't worry, there'll still be an EV game selling the bloody what's it? UBs? What's that? The figurines.
Funko
Pops.
Funko Pops. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, there'll still be an EV game selling Funko Pops at Himalaya Base Camp.
I can't wait. But yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. Don't forget Indiana Jones comes out soon, like in next week. So
yeah, but no one really gives a shit about that one. They made it wrong.
Just wait until it comes out, big dog. Xbox gamers are about to be pretty happy.
Yeah, thanks for beta testing it.
Enjoy the sloppy seconds.
See,
For me,
people are going to miss this fun dynamic between X-Bros and Sony shills.
Sony ponies.
For me,
That's a better one.
Chads and the virgins.
I gave the Dynasty Warriors demo a try recently, and that was extremely fun. So I'm really looking forward to that coming out in January. Past that, I don't really know. It's basically just Monster Hunter Wilds is something I immediately want, and I'm not looking out too much further than that. It's not like last year where it's like, oh yeah, Final Fantasy's coming out, Dragon's Dogma's coming out, everything's coming out in the first 3 months, and then Stellar Blade is coming out in April. This lead up is a lot slower.
Very interesting. Well, any final words of wisdom that people...
What were you looking
Steve's
forward to
take
besides
and run with
Monster Hunter?
No, it's basically just Monster Hunter.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure there's other things on the list, but yeah, I mean, Switch 2, maybe we'll see what the launch lineup looks like for that. Yeah, at the moment, front of mind is Monster Hunter. I'm sure there are other things in the list, though. I'll just only have to randomly think of them when they come out. Next time, who knows? Borderlands 2, Minecraft film, the 2025 is bright.
Borderlands 4 is apparently coming at some point.
That's true, actually, yeah. Off the back of such a stellar box office release. Even Tiny Tina's, I think they've talked about wanting to do more in that universe as well. Not necessarily that that's the next thing in the production queue at Gearbox, but just that that's also somewhere in the back burner. So, yeah, there's a few things.
Oh, fuck, I forgot to get my fucking
Steps in.
advent calendar. Christmas is ruined.
Yeah, that too, I guess.
Just eat 3 chocolates when you get it tomorrow.
Just eat an entire family bag of... Go to the discount section and then find the Halloween candy that they didn't sell out of and just eat bags of that.
I'll be honest, Tom, that might be not a bad idea.
Cool. Well, speaking of non-bad ideas, does anyone have any final sign-offs that they want to toss out there for now?
Thanks for hanging out. Is that what you want me to say? Do you want me to say it's been a great pleasure talking shit with you gents the past fucking 3 years or however long it's been?
God, don't put it like that.
Yeah, I mean...
No, I'm joking.
It's not necessarily that, we're disbanding the band or anything, just that we don't necessarily have a date in mind for if we pick this up again. So,
I meant the 3 years part.
Oh, yeah, that too. Yeah, it is crazy thinking that, we crossed episode, 10, and we're like, holy shit, we made it to 10. And then 20, and then even... I don't know, every 10 to 15 was a milestone because it just didn't seem like the sort of thing that we just continued doing and we just kept doing it. And now we're at 125. That's actually mind-boggling that something that
started as a bit.
Yeah. And, it started as a bit and now we're here, with a whopping... Actually, can we get some rough usage stats or a usage stat check-in, or is that going to be too awkward to try and fish at the tail end of this?
It'd be a bit too awkward.
Yeah, fair enough. But no, feeling that weird amount of hey, we might be onto something here. When which was the app that got 100 views or something?
Oh, that was a really random one that just popped up. It was in
the 40s or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, I want to say it was in the 40s.
Yeah, and then just seeing that sort of, I guess, by our scale, popping off, and it's like, whoa, what lightning in the bottle have we caught here? But no,
it's been... I quit my job the next day.
Yeah.
How'd that work out for you, buddy?
Why do you think he's traveling?
I'm still here. I'm traveling to go film content with Mr. Beast.
You could have.
I'm sorry for you.
Anyone else? Yeah.
I've heard about those working conditions. I'm sorry.
He's just on that grind. Who else could I say? I can't say. IShowSpeed Speed was in Australia last week.
IShowSpeed Speed was in New Zealand last week as well.
Oh, really? You barking at people? Crazy. But yeah, no, it's been good. It's one of those things that it's definitely I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but no, it's definitely changed how I consume video games at the very least. I'm always thinking about oh yeah, it does this, and I can talk about this and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, you got the content brain rot. Fuck yeah.
I'm always on that grind.
Love that.
But it's good. But even when I'm talking to friends, and even I'm going on a couple of like dates and stuff, I'm like, what do you do for fun? I'm like, well, I've got like a podcast, and they're always like, for real? And I'm like, yeah. And then like them like, oh, it's Fast Travel Lounge. Look us up, and it's like, oh, you actually do have one. Like, I fucking told you, it's really piece of shit. And then I had to explain about video games and stuff. And like, oh, okay. So like, did you talk about Call of Duty and stuff? I'm like, no.
No one plays that one anymore.
No, it's a surprisingly little Call of Duty chat for three guys on a podcast.
Yeah, this one girl was like, oh yeah, I play like a lot of League of Legends. Like, do you talk about that? And I'm like, God, no. Sorry, sis.
Oh, play a real game like Dota 2.
Just to bring back one of the bits that hasn't been around for a little while. I was in the middle of a stream the other night, and someone just came into my chat and was just like, "So, what sort of things do you play? Do you play Fortnite and Call of Duty?" It's like, no, I don't. I've never played those two things on stream ever. And the response was like, "Oh, okay. So I want to shill my commissions to you now." I was like, oh, "Okay, you can go."
It's where all the money is. I've just started playing Black Ops 6. Not very good. I didn't get held any abuse for using a controller this time. So
I love that. Love to see
Call of Duty is more accepting.
What a thing to say.
Finally a safe space for gamers. Call of Duty Black Ops 6 lobby. Holy shit.
Man, the amount of things that like they make you like not sign, but it's like when you go out to play, it's like, oh yeah, like I agree to be like
a good person,
respectful, and yeah, to not just say the first thing that comes into my mind. It's insane.
No, Stephen, put Monster Hunter down.
You can like when you're watching a like a game willing kill in like Search and Destroy, like you can report the person with just like touching in the right thumbstick. It's insane. And I'm like, man, remember like Modern Warfare 2? Like I was learning words in every lobby in that fucking 2011. Yeah, it's very interesting to see how things have changed. But yeah, to answer your question, Seth, the real money's in Call of Duty.
I don't remember asking.
Piece of shit. We're not ending on this. We got to end. Can we go to a different topic for a bit? We're not ending on a who asked joke.
It would be funny to end it here, though. It does feel weird, though. It does feel weird to like try and take it out where it's like, is there a point to plugging the socials? Probably not.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll do like we'll make some reels or something.
A fan art contest?
Ooh. Send in your best Rule 34 of Seth.
That probably got picked up on the mic. My water bottle tipped over just with the sheer pain of the idea of that being a fan art contest. No, I don't think there's much more left to say. So I guess this is Pat signing off, episode 125 of the Fast Travel Lounge. As always, I've been joined by Seth and Steve. Steve's address is just imagine. But thank you so much for listening. And it's weird because muscle memory wants me to say we'll catch you next time, but maybe we will, maybe we won't. But whatever happens, thank you and goodbye.
Bye. Have a wonderful time.
Happy birthday, Fast Travel Lounge.